Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Premier League Across the Podcast. Hope you're all having a great Friday. As always, I'm your host, Fu, and I'm joined by Joey and Josh. We'll get straight into it, boys. First game of the weekend on Saturday was City v Chelsea. Obviously finished 1-0 City. Joey, do you want to talk us through that one? We know you had your eyes firmly on that game.
Yeah, it was obviously a game that I think everybody else was looking forward to. A clash of two of the main title contenders this year. And just from the get, how City set up was just much more attacking, much more positive with a high press throughout with all their midfielders and attackers. And that's one of the, I guess, benefits of Pep's system is that it seems like that front six, anybody can play anywhere and they can press in any position. And that really just gave Chelsea problems. I mean, it seemed like Lukaku touched the ball maybe 2 or 3 times in the first half. They had no outlet. They really missed Mount, Chelsea did, because they just had nobody that could kind of transition that play from defense to offense. So, City got the goal. And to be honest, it was kind of lucky. Chelsea did defend pretty well for most of the game. But I think City were well deserving of that goal and the 3 points. So clearly that formation did not really work out for Tuchel, and Pep finally got the best of Tuchel since the first time that they both been in the Premier League. So, the match probably didn't live up to, I guess, the hype that it was given, but it definitely sets a good stage for the next time, because there's a lot of tactical, I guess, mind games being played between these two teams. We can just see in how they switched around their formations in the last 3 or 4 times they played each other.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, with the game, like looking at Chelsea's lineup, and Josh will probably agree, mate. I think as soon as they announced their lineup, you knew it would probably be a boring game. They've pretty much got 8 defenders on the pitch, and then just Lukaku and Werner in it. So,
yeah, it's like credit to City. I mean, obviously they're good on the attack, and they started to really be themselves this season. But I think it's a bit of like Chelsea's emphasis on the defense. Like that's especially against City and in big games. It's just like the defense is what they're really focusing on, trying to prevent goals, and so that inherently doesn't make it a high scoring affair. But I do think that has been slightly proven to be the blueprint to beat City, is that you play defensive and try to nick goals on a bit of a counter and just low block basically. So I think that's kind of why you see that. I don't know how many big games recently with City you've seen, 4-3s or whatever since.
Teams really go at them.
Yeah, it's a bit more defensive against them.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it'll be interesting to see how Liverpool, set up against City this week. I mean, because obviously we know Liverpool have been on incredible attacking form, and I think I heard a stat they scored 3 or more goals in the last 6 matches in all competitions. So obviously they put 5 past Porto or Benfica, whoever it was. Sorry, it's a bit shocking. I don't know, but go on with what you were saying.
Yeah, I was literally just going to say, with Josh's point, like the only team that do really attack against City, and the games that do normally have more goals when it's City versus someone big, is Liverpool. They're always very open. Yeah. We're both very attacking teams. And like I was saying, that's on this Sunday. So looking forward to that. Still trying to grab my ticket. Hopefully we'll get it. But if not, I'll be stewing at the game. So look out for me.
Yeah, I saw a fraud trying to get a ticket.
Yeah, mate. People on Twitter, dodgy.
Liverpool, Liverpool honestly have a great style of play, but I do think that does really stem from having the absolute wagon of Van Dijk at the back, and that you don't need to sit in with all of your midfielders right in front of them just because of how good they are defensively. And also they control possession really well. So then why would you need to sit low block like Chelsea or like Spurs do sometimes?
Yeah, I think whilst we're on the topic of Liverpool then, and how good Van Dijk is and whatnot, I think we should mention obviously their game 3-3. We were great attacking, but I don't know if you boys watched that. Our defence just did not look at it at all. Van Dijk, other than stopping Ivan Toney, didn't really do anything. Trent was always just left on his own. And, you know, he was kind of scapegoated for that. And everyone was like, oh, Trent getting bullied. But, mate, when you've got 3 players diving on top of you, like, what more can you do? Obviously, from, I suppose, your boys' point of view, it was a very entertaining game. Even I enjoyed it. But for me personally, I don't want to see us conceding 3 to Brentford. Not what you want at all.
No, and I agree with what you're saying. Van Dijk was he didn't really like lose out on any aerial battles or any duels, I guess, with Tony, but it just seemed like he wasn't 100% fit in that match, or he was a little bit tired, and I don't know what the explanation would have been. Like sometimes it just didn't seem like he was sprinting back, or I don't know, just going into tackles with full confidence and force like he used to. But in regards to Trent, I mean, Brentford did do a good job in sort of overloading him at the back post. And like you said, he got scapegoated for it, but there was nothing he could really do about it because he's got 2 or 3 runners and he can't mark them. And, you know, especially when one of them is just absolutely barreling into him, you know, and he gets hit on the floor. So Brentford did a good job, I guess, exposing the weakness in Liverpool's events. I don't rate Trent especially highly as a defender, but again, I don't think that was like his fault. It was just good tactical play and kind of just a weakness that maybe they need to drop Henderson. I don't know who plays on the right of midfield, but I guess it's something to keep our eye on moving forward.
Yeah, Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I just think Brentford are set up a bit to go after games, you know, with they'll just kind of push up high with their
against
wing backs,
the bigger teams,
and they'll create some chances, and they did enough. And like, not all the goals are pretty, but they scored them. But clearly, their defense, like, I mean, especially like an attack like Liverpool's, was going to give up chances. But fair play to them; they used the home crowd to their advantage, and I mean, that was an absolute brilliant match. That's like, you know, it's like always the advert of the Premier League, whatever. But it truly was, and I do think a bit Liverpool that's going to happen. You know, it's not every game's going to be clean this year. You know, every team is besides Norwich will be able to hold with everyone. So
yeah, definitely, mate. And I mean, like, I was happy that we kept Tony quiet, and you know, the Van Dijk thing at the very end when Tony was through, I was like, oh no way. But then Van Dijk showed why he has been regarded as, you know, one of the best defenders. But with what you mentioned about Henderson, Joey, he just like that. Normally he's an engine, you know, he'll get back, he'll get forward. That game again, he just looked knackered. He wasn't helping out the defense, and like you said, with Brentford overloading, every time they were in our half, it would be like 8 or 9 of them just up the field, which is very brave for them considering, you know, when we've got like Mane, Salah that can just burst up. And I was happy for them to get a goal, and obviously Curtis Jones filling in the youngsters' shoes.
Oh, he was brilliant. He was brilliant. I think he's been brilliant the last couple matches. Sorry, I just wanted to say this anyways on Curtis Jones as well. I think he's been playing, you know, obviously there was a slight deflection on the goal he scored, but the hit was incredible. Like, it's just mentality, the way he carries the ball and progresses it throughout the pitch is, I mean, I know Harvey Elliott was good in the couple games he played, but Curtis Jones, I think, is playing really well right now.
No,
so I just wanted to add that. But
he was mentality monster. Yeah. No, he was great, mate. He was great against Porto as well. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Obviously, really interesting match, Liverpool versus City. This Sunday, I think. Yeah, it is Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
So we'll see how that is. But we'll go back to Manchester then. We spoke about City. We'll have a little mention of United losing to Villa at Old Trafford as well, boys. Not good for them.
Who would have thought that? That was a very big surprise. I think United just felt like they were playing well pretty much the entire season, besides the Champions League loss, but that was kind of due to the Wan-Bissaka red card. But you know, they're at home with the hype of Ronaldo, and like they had 4 shots on target. I'm looking there right now, 28 shots. Yeah, that's never gonna get it done ever. But Villa, you know, they sat in the middle and they really didn't allow many chances. And like, even when United had possession, they quickly kind of broke it up. And all you need is one chance at the end. And it was a great header. He was past the post.
Quality header.
Get it even on target. I mean, that was really, and they snatched it like that. And then obviously late in the game, I mean, Bruno, that's just, it's almost unspeakable when you have a player like Ronaldo right behind you. But Yeah, the pressure got to Bruno, which is something that has never ever happened on penalties. I was telling Joey instantly, like, why is he not doing like the hop, skip, and jump thing that he
Yeah,
always
Josh.
does?
Yeah, Josh was saying that to me
Martinez,
as it
mate.
happened.
Martinez
Yes,
in his head. You see him? You seen
proper
the video
shit
where he's
house.
pointing at
Yeah,
Ronaldo, like, "Go
Yeah,
on, you take
yeah.
it, mate."
yeah.
Oh, but you got
That's
to feel for Bruno, haven't you? That Instagram post, he's been through a lot. Bless him. It's so upsetting. He'll come back from such a major thing. Fucking what an absolute farce that was.
What a
When I
twat,
saw
mate.
that, I was like, you'd think he's fucking punched a fan or something. All he did was miss a pen.
Yeah, I mean, he can go
Yeah,
speak
it
to
was a
Mark
bit
Noble
weird.
about it. So
Don't
Yeah, maybe
don't
that
pull
was
that
calm.
card,
Yeah.
mate. We did to be fair to add the United's woes. Obviously, after we won't go back and describe the whole West Ham United league fixture in London, but in United we got them, or in Manchester we got them back the following Monday, so or maybe it was no following Wednesday. So felt good about that, and good to see West Ham respond. So.
Yeah, it could have been a bad run of results as well if obviously Ronaldo didn't come up clutch last night with the major win. But yeah, mate, Bruno missing and them losing at home just shows that, United aren't the team that everybody thinks they are now just because they've got Ronaldo.
Yeah, you figure Ronaldo's going to be on pens from here on out, and I can't imagine he'll be missing many more of them. But
I think he's on pens, but I also something about me has this like Bruno just does look like he's lacking confidence right now. So, in a way, I wouldn't be surprised if like Ronaldo tells him to take like the next one just so like he score. I don't know, just so he scores it, or maybe I'm wrong.
You think Ronaldo wants to not be in the spotlight? I think
Ronaldo is a long-term penalty taker, but I don't know why. I just feel like I'd like just kind of the same dynamic with the Portuguese national team. Bruno he's just not as effective, right? Like when he has that, I mean, with Cavani, clearly Bruno is still very good, but it's something about Ronaldo. I don't know. I don't know. When he's up the middle, it seems like Bruno just doesn't make those same darting runs, but
yeah,
it doesn't all go through him. But
maybe Ronaldo says stuff to him in Portuguese that we don't understand, so Bruno's shaking in his boots.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think Bruno probably will be on the next pen because Ollie said that in the interview after that he'll be taking the next one. I'm pretty sure. And
did he say that?
Yeah, and I think as well with the confidence thing as well. Like, look at how many pens he has scored for them. He's Bruno Fernandes. Do you know what I mean? So if he doesn't take the next one,
Manchester United.
Yeah. If he doesn't take the next one, then I feel like his confidence will be really knocked. But yeah, be interested to see how Man United.
All I gotta say, I agree.
This weekend,
it's fair to say that, but you can't be missing a 95th minute penalty to get a point.
No. And he didn't even put it on target either. That was
horrific.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, but I do, sure, give them.
Especially when they didn't even deserve it. They didn't deserve anything, like Josh was saying. It's like the same as the Noble one. Like they both would have snatched like a point when they probably really didn't deserve it that much, So and Noble's pen wasn't great, but at least it was on target. Bruno's just absolutely skied it. Like I think we've all seen like all the memes now about it going all the way around, like all around the world and back. So I don't know, but I think we've covered United enough in their woes. But they're a yo-yo. I mean, not yo-yo team, but they're going to be up and down. They're kind of Jekyll and Hyde. Some games they'll score 4 or 5, but other games, they'll drop a 4 out of 10 performance against a average Villa side.
Yeah,
so
that's
we'll have to see how their consistency.
Yeah, it's consistency for them, especially in defense. I think that they've struggled, and that's I think I've said for a while. Just like a team that's conceding goals as much as they do, especially first in the games, it's not a product or that is going to really help them. But they're still definitely going to look really good at some point. So
yeah, well, we'll move on to another team that have struggled recently on a bad run of form. Josh, that's your team, mate. And obviously, we'll let you give your thoughts in a sec. I don't know. Obviously, I tried to send it you, but you boys can't see it, I think, because of like Twitter rules in different countries. But Jamie Carragher summed it up perfectly. Like, whenever your defence were on the ball, your midfielders were like up in attack, mate. It was like you were playing a 4-0-6 or something. Like your players would pick up the ball and none of your midfielders would like come short or anything like that. So it was just long balls over, and then you'd lose the ball and be exposed on the counter. And I don't know, Dele Alli, mate, was playing as a striker most of the game, and then your other midfielders just weren't helping out at all. And mate, it was every time I saw your team on the ball, they'd have it with a centre back or something, and they just have nowhere to go, so they just hoof it up and hope for the best. And then Ben White, who, you know, obviously there was a talk 50 million, that's a lot of money, but he absolutely pocketed Harry Kane. And I don't know what your thoughts are on Harry Kane's performances at the minute. But...
Mate, he's in his back pocket.
Yeah, you know, I do have to say, I could probably pocket Harry Kane at the moment. But no disrespect, but no, the Spurs match was. I mean, that was one of the worst and most disappointing matches I've seen from Spurs in the 10 years I've followed Spurs. More, I guess now, whatever. But they, I mean, that first half was completely dreadful, and it's literally just, you know, a summation of everything that's gone on since the Champions League final, pretty much. It's a team that's had a few okay moments. I mean, we were first in December last year, but it was probably just a few lucky games. But the
First in December trophy.
The style of play, the players, and the managers, owners, everything is just, it's been a failure, and there's no reason to say it's not been, because for the ability we've shown and quality we've shown that people know we have and we know we have, you can't be like we are right now. But yeah, I mean, like you said, the formation and style in the first half, I mean, never, ever, ever again, please. I mean, it was so obvious that Arsenal were every single chance we're probably going to have a shot on goal, and the defense is not confident and the midfield isn't possessing the ball and carrying the ball like they need to. So yeah, it was pretty underwhelming, I will say. Spurs are down bad at the moment. There's no question. 3 matches in a row, conceding 3, losing 3. I mean, it's not the standards that we should be at. But I do have to say, a bit fair play to Arsenal. They did look like a decent side. I will be a bit hesitant because Spurs made Palace look really good, and they've made, I mean, you know, like, it's not like Spurs are playing great right now, but they did look good and took their chances and energy, and like, a fair play to them. And obviously, like, Smith Rowe, Saka are very good players, and they were never going to be losing matches like they were at the beginning of the season the entire year once they got all their main squad in. Yeah, but they did play well. But I do have to say, in the second half, we were a better side. They did sit a little bit back and knew they just needed to get the result. But
yeah,
we showed a little bit of ability, which was nice. And Son is just like our best player right now, I think, no question. I don't know what you guys think, but
well, I think what changed it for you a little bit as well in the second half was when you brought on that Gill. He just was, you know, he was like a little pit bull, mate. Every time I saw him, it was just this little long-haired Afro guy crunching the ball. Yeah, that's what it was, mate. Like none of the players on the pitch in the first half looked like they even wanted to play. When you compare that to like how you said Arsenal played, Saka and Smith Rowe and whatnot, you know, they were brilliant. And Arsenal, Ben White as well, shout out to him. He was great that game. But yeah, as soon as Brian Gill came on, it just looked like, you know, the intensity changed a bit from Tottenham, and he was, you know, kind of doing the work that the others weren't, which then spurred them on a bit more. And then, you know, obviously Son got a goal. But
yeah, I mean, I was saying, I was surprised Gill didn't start. He's been pretty impressive every match, especially like the Carabao Cup. He was great for us, and I was surprised he didn't start. It was just because Lucas was healthy, but there's no, at this point, like, why are you not starting a player like that who's actually going to give you his all and like has ability? Like, we lack so much midfield like creativity, and he brings that. It is on the like the flank. I don't know if he's quite going to be able to do it down the middle, which is what we desperately need. But on the flank, he is really good and creative, which is great. The one thing, so that was definitely one of my takeaways, like Gill, obviously. But another takeaway was just like Kane, and like, it's unfortunate, it pains me to say, but like, Kane is harming the team how he's playing right now. Like, when he's not producing, when he's giving the ball away, when it's lackadaisical, it's harming us. Like, there's no question about it. The problem is he's the first name on the team sheet. He can't be dropped. He's Harry Kane. So that has to be within himself. He's got to show his ability and impact on games.
It's not even his ability. It's his mentality. I mean, I know we've been joking around saying that, but it's genuinely like he has to, like, honestly, like the way he's played the last couple weeks, and I'm not saying this because like whatever, like I don't like Spurs. It's just like he just genuinely doesn't deserve to be playing over some of these other players. Like if other players drop these performances, they wouldn't keep playing. And like at a certain point, he has to be held to that standard. And like he either just has to like say like personally take accountability for it and say like, look, like I need to like start playing better, or like, you know, he's just gonna be dropped by Nuno eventually if he keeps not playing well. I mean, I can't see it. Like he's too good of a player to do that, but.
Well, the thing is, we don't have another striker. So that's where it gets into like, well, you still have to play him. And also, I do think like he is a pretty hard worker generally and true professional, whatever that means. So I do expect him to like pick it up. Yeah. And he's not going to just like not do anything this season.
But you can just tell something is up still.
100%.
But like think about North London Derby. Like he owns North. Like he's the all-time leading goal scorer in North London Derbies. Like when does he not get up for one?
Yeah.
And like
I mean, that's one of the first
he probably was up for it, but he just like his play didn't really.
That's one of the
like
first times I've ever seen him make a mistake that leads to a goal for the other team. I mean, that is one of the first times ever, and it was woeful. Yeah. It was bad, and then he shot it.
I mean, to be fair, he did track back, but like
it doesn't matter. It's a mistake leading to a goal.
Yeah, it was. You're right. So.
But then he shot it from 4 yards out, like woeful. He's just not locked in like he usually is, and making an impact on the game like we need him. And part of the reason I'm like, I really say that is against City, we didn't have him. We looked like a great side. We were
that front three. That was organization. Laura, Bergwijn, and Son. Lethal front three, mate. Do you know as well what Harry Kane lacks for me as well is like pace. Do you know what I mean? If Son has got Bergwijn and Lucas to the left and right of him, mate, just slip them in. Do you know what I mean? Like all Harry Kane can offer really is insane finishing, and he'll win your fouls. Do you know what I mean? Like he is a great playmaker as well. But I mean, like right now as well, from what he is offering, nothing. At least when Lucas Moore is on the pitch, Son's on the pitch, Bergwijn's on the pitch, you know, they're fucking running, mate. They're quick. They're trying to get back. They're trying to get forward. He's just like when you look at when you look at the game and watch him, mate, he's just in the same area the whole fucking game. He's not going everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Especially when we don't have that creative mid that's getting in the service. So if we're gonna play the three up top, when we're playing the three up top and it's just counterattack mania, whatever. I don't know. I think Spurs. It will be interesting. They're clearly after these last 2 seasons. There's no reason to keep doing what they're doing. I think they really need to, and obviously part of it is the players, part is the managers, like I was saying, but. I think they should change the formation and go back to like maybe 2 up top, maybe just Kane up top and drop in with more midfielders.
He needs to be sold.
Because under Poach, we actually had like dominated midfields and it wasn't just heave it up to Kane and Son and pray, which obviously they're world-class players, so they do produce, but it's not sustainable. I think they're going to have to really think about under Nuno, a manager who's defensive that may have to have a different style of play.
If I can add something to just quickly, one on Kane and then sort of on Tottenham and Levy, and Spurs as an organization. Just Kane, the way he's playing right now, it sort of reminds me of like a Rooney, like after sort of like Van Gaal era, like where he's just dropping deep and trying to take up these positions, like so he can get the play going, because he knows they lack that like creative midfield area and people who can progress the ball. But right now it's just not working, and it seems like it's slowing everything down, even more. And then when they actually do get the ball in the wing, like in a dangerous position, he's not really there, like in that like spot where he usually is, just trying to be that poacher and get a goal. But and so that's my, I guess, like analysis of just Kane. But then in terms of Spurs, I don't know. It's just weird to me that Levy didn't sell, because he could have got probably 150, 125 million pounds from him. It would have been a chance to to just like kind of have another rebuild of the team, because I don't know, Kane isn't in his prime years, so you're going to get like a lot of money for him and just be able to sort of restructure the team around Son. And I don't know, I genuinely think that's a thing that Spurs should look to do this summer, because it just doesn't look like he wants to be there right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, unless they're going to somehow like have enough money to buy players who are going to get them back in the Champions League, like what is the long-term goal? You know what I mean? Like, because how many years do you like, is that going to take to get them back into the Champions League? And then is Kane going to be in his prime still, you know? So I don't know. I don't want to talk about it
we're at the building.
but
I
just feel like it doesn't make sense right now.
Like, imagine wasting Kane and Son like this. I mean, that.
Yeah.
So, but I have faith that they do have enough ability that I think
of course, they need to figure something out though really soon.
Yeah, we'll see how they do against Villa, boys. Like we say, you know, it's still only early doors of the season, and it could be worse for them. A team that are in a worse situation, who I find very surprising, is Leicester at the minute. I think they currently sat on about 7 points. And they draw into Burnley at home as well. Burnley scoring 2 goals. I'll hold my hands up. I don't think I've ever seen Burnley score 2 goals in a game, to be fair. But yeah, Leicester, mate, are struggling at the minute. I don't even know what's really going on there either. Vardy's been scoring for them. Are they missing any key players that I'm missing out on or something?
They're not missing key players, obviously, other than defenders. And I think that they wanted to play 3 at the back going into the year. And obviously the injury to Fofana really hurt that system, because I heard somebody say this the other day, like, and also I think they're still missing Johnny Evans, he's the kind of the one who reads the game and sits back, whereas Vestergaard and Soyuncu are the ones using their athleticism to go, you know, make interceptions, make like challenges and tackles on the front foot. And just without Evans, apparently that relationship just hasn't been nearly as good in terms of their center halves. And then quickly also, I think they need to start playing Iheanacho more, because I mean, look, even tonight they lost in the Europa League and they didn't score. Iheanacho obviously couldn't play. Apparently there was like passport or documentation issues. So I think he really just, I don't know why, but he makes that attack like just tick for some reason. So I think he's a player that Rodgers should really think about like putting back in the side, especially considering his form at the end of last year. So, and there are reasons, you know, why they aren't doing well. But I expect them to get it right, get it going at some point in the season. So I don't know what you guys think, or if you guys watch them at all. I know Josh has, because in fantasy he has Barnes. So
they have too much ability to not be good, at least, you know, above mid-table. But I do think they'll look at Europa League as a way to have success this season. But I do think they'll start to produce a lot better in the Premier League. I don't think it's like a real cause of concern. They've been their offense will be, you know, they'll win the matches. So
yeah, conceded 10 so far though, and only scored the 7. So yeah, something has changed. I've seen that Evans was on the bench, so maybe he'll be put back in the side for the next game.
It's Vestergaard right now,
but yeah, I don't know, mate. I just find it weird. Leicester are normally a really good side, and normally with Leicester as well, they start so strong. Like, how often are Leicester normally at the top and then they start to flop off? But it looks like at the minute it could be going the opposite way for them. And then we'll quickly mention as well a team that are having nowhere near the same season last season as well. Second season syndrome could be hitting them. Leeds United losing at Ellen Road to West Ham. Joey, your team.
Mate, it was you know, obviously Leeds are missing a couple of key players in terms of obviously their defenders. I think Ayling, Koch, Llorente, maybe I'm missing somebody else. So, and obviously Bamford didn't play as well. They still have a lot of decent players. And actually, I think the 2 youngsters that filled in, Shackleton played right back, was decent. And the Cresswell lad, I think he's only maybe 17, 18. He actually played Antonio pretty tough, you know, for 90 minutes. And obviously Antonio nicked the one at the end. So I don't think Leeds have a bunch of cause for concern. I think, you know, they need more defensive stability and structure. Maybe when they're healthy, that's when they'll get that. But clearly, like, there's a fairly different, like, decent drop off from like their first 13 or 15 squad like players, and then everybody after that. So if they continue to be hurt, like, that could really be something that could make them like a real relegation contender. But I think attacking wise, they're probably fine. I mean, Rafinha has looked really good. His minutes have been managed the last 2 matches. He's only played like 60 or 65 minutes. So, and you can tell there's a considerable drop off in terms of like attacking intent when he goes off the pitch. And I think just general confidence with the rest of the team because they know how good he is, for them at least. So, and then just, I guess, to touch on West Ham, we really didn't play that well, but I think that's a sign of a good team, is that a team, who can nick points when they're on the top of their game.
Best,
and, yeah, and Melier honestly made some world-class saves and I'm like not kidding, like world-class saves in the first half to deny Benrahma of a goal, and also Antonio. So I mean, he's a great shot stopper and is perfect for a lead system. So
yeah, it's such a good goalie, mate. He's only like 19 or 20 or something like that, which is mad.
He's quality.
Very, very good career ahead of him. I'll quickly give a shout out as well. Someone that was nice to see on the score sheet again, Raul Jimenez. Obviously, we all know what happened with his injury, mate. You could hear the knock of it on the screen. It honestly made me feel sick. But yeah, he's back scoring. Wolves picking up the 3 points there against Southampton. Maybe that's exactly what he needed. I know last game before that he played, he ended up taking off his little headband thing to protect him, which, I don't think is probably the best shout for him to do. But yeah, nice team score, and hopefully now we'll start seeing, Wolves start scoring goals again like we're used to.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously the way he took that goal was incredible. Like, it was just, he shrugged off 2 or 3 defenders, and it was just like, you can tell, like, that is what he's going to need to get his confidence back. And I think he almost could have scored again or played Traore in at the end of the match to make it 2-0. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Wolves start picking up, some more points here. I think they have a kind fixture run in the next 5 to 7 game weeks. So we'll have to watch out for them.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got an exciting weekend coming up. Obviously, massive game Sunday, Liverpool City. Another one to look out for is United and Everton. Obviously, Everton are coming off a good win against Norwich. But I think at the minute, Norwich are 3 points for everybody. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this episode, lads. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap it up as Zoom are scummy bastards and they make you pay to do longer than 40 minutes now, unfortunately. But yeah, boys, thanks for joining me this week. And I'll see you again next week. Hopefully, good Premier League weekend.
Thanks for having us on. It was I look forward to a good weekend. A lot of great matchups with bogey teams for certain big clubs. So really should be a good weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Come on, you Irons.
Peace out, boys.